And thank you. We're gonna get right into, call to order, approve them, which we've already done. The manifests, we need a motion on the manifests.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable manifest of January 18th, 2016, and February 1, 2016, and the payroll manifest of January 19th and February 2nd, 2016.
Do we cover them?
I'll second.
18th, February 1st.
I read it exactly what was there.
I know, I'm just, we had done, no, we had to go like nunc pro tunc because we didn't have a meeting last week. So we had to do it as if it had already been done last time.
I think you're making up words.
Nunc pro tunc, no, that's the legal term.
And it
Now
means-
now as if it was done before. Nunc.
I don't understand why.
Because we didn't have a meeting last week, and so it was sort of done with permission. Remember, Betsy asked us to look at the manifests so she could issue checks and everything. But don't worry, it's okay.
So I seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mark. Keeping us on track.
I think it's just the two that were listed on your agenda, correct?
Yeah, 111 and 118. That was what was, oh, excuse me,
No.
I'm sorry, January 18th and January 19th, I'm sorry.
Well, accounts payable was January 18th and February 1, and payroll was January 19th and February 2nd.
We're doing two periods, that's all I'm saying.
Did you get it all?
Yeah. Because we weren't here to do the other period last Monday. Uh-oh.
We got a new battery, like a laptop.
I don't think we can afford it.
Crack open the budget.
Oh, I'll have to open the whole budget up again. No, not ever. We have minutes to approve, we have the January 11th minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as amended.
Which, on January 11th, were there amendments to the 11th?
That's why you have extra.
Donna provided some minor changes today, right?
I had January 18th was.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Okay.
January 11th doesn't have any changes that I could see.
where's the ones that we need to initial?
Yeah, I didn't see those in there.
Where's the list of invoices that we're supposed to initial? I bet it's here. Accounts payable edit list, there it is. Oh, we signed this one. We did that one.
Want to do the January 11th minutes before we lose
Yeah.
track?
Did we send you changes to January 11th? No.
I didn't see any.
I don't postpone these until we can kind of get back on the same track.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I'm looking at my file for the 18th, and I made changes, and I'm not seeing the changes here either, so.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You sent changes today.
Did you see the changes?
I saw red lines, but they
You
were.
did see the red lines,
See,
okay.
they didn't come up on mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it read the same to me.
I did make changes.
So what we need for next week,
Here's,
Oh, she has those in here.
I
Here's
did.
the-
So
Okay.
the January 18
That's the
minutes
edit
do have Dawn's changes.
list that
in
goes
them.
with this.
okay. I don't have a copy of that. I have
Yes, you
January.
do.
In the
There's a
packet she handed
packet I
out.
just gave you.
No, it's missing. I have the 28th, I have the 11th.
There is the 28th. It's an error. That's
Oh.
on my correct.
Should I do both of these?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I've got the 11th and the 18th, and we'll do those next time.
Well, if you're
I'll do it
ready, have
upside-
you
can I
read her
just do that
from
upside
the
down?
18th? No, then yeah, let's go.
All right. Both the 11th and the 18th, and we'll do those next week along with these.
Did you get changes from me on the 11th?
No,
I don't recall getting.
No, I
that would have been a while ago.
it was the 28th that you made the changes on.
Did you get 11th minutes for the 11th?
The 28th are supposed to be the 18th.
Okay, but we're saying we don't think we saw minutes for the 11th.
I sent them out, but I'll send it, and that's why I'm saying, it was
Okay.
a while ago, so I will resend all the draft minutes that we.
Okay, apologies.
That's okay.
I'll give this to you because that's a printout of the changes I made for the
Thank you.
18th.
Yeah, although I do have them because I just got them.
Okay,
There was wrong.
I thought they were the 28th.
okay.
Well, we can do the
We can do the 18th.
18th.
She hasn't had a chance
Yeah, I didn't
Alright,
read them because I didn't have the changes.
Okay.
Okay, who's on first?
I know.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
It's been one of those days. We don't need to initial nothing, okay? Good. So let me get all this, these go here. These go here. Okay. There were a couple of, action items on the 11th minutes I did jot down. Conservation Commission updated easement recommendations, have we seen those yet?
No.
Okay, kind of keep
Okay,
that up, yeah.
yep.
And the non-public minutes from that too, we're missing at least one set of non-publics?
Yes. Yep, we'll do those next week too.
Okay. So we can move on from there. Got those all done. Anybody have reports from assigned boards or committees?
Marston is meeting tomorrow night. The committee will be meeting with Ironwood and talking about, a go-forward plan for how we now promote to the community the work that's been done and what the ask is.
Okay. Do you plan on making a presentation at town meeting?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll be good. You don't know how long it would be, do you?
4 hours.
That's what I was afraid of.
No, it will be like, I think it's gonna be a 10 to 15 minute.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you know, you want to inform people, but you don't want to
exactly.
wear them out.
Yeah, and I mean, I plan on working with Janet to figure out how we can leverage the board out here to provide some information to,
People passing by?
people passing by
Okay,
in time for the election next week.
okay. So that's Marston. Planning board, budget committee?
While you were at the last budget committee
Mhm.
meeting,
Yep.
planning board has been a while, and last time we met, there was a lot line adjustment, and final discussion, I think, on the, changes that you see here,
Okay,
and that was it.
okay, town department reports.
Okay, let's
Where do I
begin.
begin?
Well, let's begin with the day-to-day business. We had a pre-construction meeting today on the Maple Ridge development. They're starting road construction pretty much this week. Things will be really evident next week.
Is it Maple Ridge, did you say?
Maple Ridge off Oak Ridge. Things will be hot and heavy next Monday. And this is essentially a road project. There's no home construction to start yet. And they're hoping to finish late May, mid-June perhaps. So there'll be some noticeable truck traffic on Oak Ridge, Case, and Mill Pond roads. There was some blasting mentioned. There's a possibility that'll be required. Other than that, not expecting any impacts beyond that. I've told you by email, but just for public consumption, our recreation director, Janet Horvath, has submitted her resignation. She'll be here for another 10 days or so. She's off to take a job with the city of Manchester. And there's gonna be a send-off for her on Thursday, the 11th, here from 5 to 7. Just a little, swing by, say hello and goodbye. I think it's light apps and desserts or something. And a DJ.
Really?
Ed Ball.
There's been no talk of a mirror ball. Let's see, we need to, the royal we, need to figure out a dedication for the annual report, the town report. If you want to do that offline, that's fine, but
Yeah.
that clock is ticking. Again, I think you probably know this already, but I know some of you know, The posting, the sign-up period for town offices has closed, and the town clerk has given us a list of candidates. We have contested races in a few places. The 3-year seat on the Board of Selectmen, Charlene Anderson and John Moran will be on the ballot. The 2-year seat on the Board of Selectmen, Teresa Bascom and Tyler Eaton will be on the ballot. And the only other contested race is library trustee, 1 seat for 1 year. Laura Cottrell and Elizabeth Friedrich are on the ballot. I believe there is a gap on the trustee of the trust funds. There's 1 3-year seat for which we do not have a candidate on the ballot. And if I'm not mistaken, every other opening, the incumbent has filed for re-election, or somebody who's already on the given board. This will be on the website tomorrow if it isn't already. It already is, so the list of candidates is on the town website.
And
Oh, good.
And Channel 22, thank you.
library post office.
Let's see. About an hour ago, we can come back to this in the warrant discussion, but about an hour ago, we got a petition validated by the town clerk, submitted by petition. That deadline is tomorrow. And the following question will appear on the warrant article on the paper ballot on Tuesday. This is not a vote on it Saturday at the meeting question. This is a vote on it on the ballot. Are you in favor of increasing the Board of Selectmen to 5 members? The law is pretty clear and inflexible about how we do that. That is the question that appears on the ballot. It's a simple majority vote. You, having received this, have to set the date of a public hearing on that subject. That's the only other requirement before the vote, is that the selectmen hold a public hearing. You have to do that before March 1st. You have meetings scheduled on February 8th, which is a week from tonight, and February 22nd. February 8th, a week from tonight, we already have posted the bond hearing for the fire truck, so you have a public hearing scheduled next week. The 22nd agenda is pretty light. And it would be good if you want to set that public hearing for a week from tonight, which is fine, we just need to make that decision tonight so we can publish it or post it.
We kind of told Tony that we were going to do it tomorrow, next Monday, so I would like to stick with that.
February 22nd, that week is school vacation week.
Okay.
I will be away.
Okay,
I-
so
Yeah,
it's better to do it than that night?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we will post it for a week from tonight. Okay, last item, which is not on the agenda, but is on everybody's mind, there's an election coming. There's a presidential primary election coming. 5 minutes ago, I got a note from the moderator about tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is ballot machine testing. You as election officials can take part in that. We had also scheduled a meeting kind of before that with the same folks to talk about preparations for the election and our responsibilities around the facility preparation and all that stuff. The moderator is comfortable with where we are and does not need to meet with you on that subject if you do not need to meet with her.
So what time is the meeting? Because I've seen both 6:30 and 7 o'clock.
You kind of have 2 things scheduled. The 6:30 was the planning, election planning thing, and the ballot machine testing is 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you do not need to meet with the moderator at 6:30, we can scrap that and proceed with ballot machine testing at 7 o'clock,
That's fine.
if that works for
That's
you.
definitely.
Okay. We are, I think, as ready as we're going to be, and I've communicated with you a bunch of times about that, but I guess if anybody's watching at home, the key pieces of information are that for the presidential primary, this is not the town election, it's Tuesday, February 9th. Polls are open 8 to 7. Bring a photo ID if you have it. It will speed up your voting process considerably. You don't have to have one, but it will be faster if you do. And we're going to walk people through the building differently. We're going to walk in through the back of the building, so please follow the signs when you get here. If you want to get down in the gory details, Selectmen, that is what's brewing, but you don't need to worry about it, I hope. Your only responsibility that day is to be here. And we've traded some emails about that schedule, so,
Oh, these are for us.
that's if you.
Thank you very much.
Chuck it if you don't need it. And that is all I have outside of warrant and bond business.
Okay. Okay, documents to sign, and then we'll get into the warrant.
We have a new hire, Officer Degnan, and one merit, performance evaluation and merit change. You also have some mail here that you should take home with you,
Which one of us?
all of you.
Oh, cool. Oh, it's probably, oh, I'm thinking it's literature from the candidates.
No, it's your tax forms.
Ah, yes.
That's coming, isn't it? Anything else
There's
in
some
there?
checks in there too, I don't know if
Okay.
you're all up to speed with that.
That's what I was expecting.
We need to also schedule, time to get Chris's review done.
Yeah, I had that on my list, because that was something that you raised that you wanted to do, so I think we should start on that sooner rather than later.
In the contract, it says we'll do it in February, so
Yeah,
And,
but I'm presuming it's gonna take a whole month to get done, so,
we should get it going.
yeah.
now the dam at Mendham's, we don't wanna make a comment or anything. We have a certain amount of time to comment on it. I couldn't think of any, I mean, we haven't been involved in it. They're doing what they do. We haven't had anybody get in touch with us, so I think it's,
Haven't heard a peep.
yeah, so I assume it's going along well, so I would say we don't have a comment. Is the first name Jake?
Jake, yes.
And then this is- Loving it? You on, man? Now, you wanna talk about the bond council engagement, and then we'll get into the
Okay.
warrant?
You all got a note from me about this. You want me to rehash it, or are you all
I read
comfortable
it.
with it?
You don't have a,
Oh,
You
you
probably
already
got his
took it.
already.
you already took yours?
Oh, that did?
I already read all this stuff, I got it.
So to use the bond bank requires bond counsel to kind of validate our process and our financial standing. We have historically used Divine Millimet out of Manchester and Concord for that work. Contacted them again. You have a copy of the engagement letter, and it outlines what they do for us, what we need to provide. It is really a paperwork chase, mostly things that we've done already, but not a whole lot of new content to create. But we've been happy. I think in the past, I think the bond process was pretty smooth from what I can see on paper with Divine Millimet. They do a bunch of business with the New Hampshire Bond Bank, so.
Pretty straightforward for them.
Yes.
Okay. We don't do it often enough to. So, we have a proposed motion on the, bond bank, the engagement letter with Divine Millimet. If I will entertain that.
Just a question, I mean, the only thing that they rightfully pointed out was about the issue of the partner in the firm representing Fairpoint.
Yep,
I mean, how big is this firm?
big.
Huge.
Big, so it doesn't,
Big.
it,
No,
Big,
yeah,
big, big.
that's what I
Yeah.
said.
they put up what they used to call, I don't know if they still call it China walls. So that they
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
so that nothing.
Yeah, different sides of the house probably.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
what, that's what I said, okay,
And we're one of a humongous group in that Fairpoint litigation.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, okay. So I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen authorizes the town administrator to engage Divine Millimet for bond counsel services as outlined in the letter dated January 25th, 2016.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Okay, moving right along. Let's get into the warrants. We'll go through each, you can go through each one of those.
Starting with Article 5.
We're not gonna talk about animal feedlots?
No, we don't go, we don't have to weigh in on any of that. So we would go right along until we get to as, yeah, animal feedlots. Article 5. And you can walk us through that, Chris.
Okay,
No, it's Article 6.
Yeah, Article 5 is the public hearing next week, so.
yeah, we're gonna have to
Did you
shuffle
change it?
our
Yes.
article numbers because of that petition.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be now Article 6 and they'll all go up one?
So I think just to kind of quickly clarify, previously you guys had asked me to make copies of these documents for you. You get them pre-review via email. But if you're making your own copies, I don't want to duplicate the process and waste paper. So do you want me to provide you copies or do you want to do your own copies? Because sometimes they do change between Friday and,
Yeah, I don't copy every document, I might copy like the first page, so I would like to have copies prepared by you.
okay, so just be aware that when you do that, and you do your own copies, if you're reading from the wrong one, you're gonna,
But you hadn't changed
You
this
just
one
changed
yet?
this tonight.
that's what I'm saying.
What did you change tonight?
Article 5 is no longer Article 5, Article 5.
Oh, you're right,
Okay.
okay, you're absolutely right.
Just tell us,
Petition warrant
just tell us. I mean, I print them because I print them to read them.
Right.
I don't print them at all. So,
It depends on
Yeah.
what it is and what the length
Piece
of it is.
paperless.
Something like this, yes, I do.
You would, okay, so do you still want copies of the change?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we may get through this process tonight and say, why don't you all come back and sign this? You know,
Tomorrow?
yeah, just
Yeah,
to keep it
That's
simple. Great.
okay, so we're at actual Article 6.
Okay. Article 6 is the bond for the Quint fire truck.
But, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Go
it's-
ahead.
I've had one-on-ones with each of you tonight about the capital reserve question that comes after this, where we don't have a bond payment in 2016. We should probably talk about the two things together. But this authorizes up to $425,000 in bonding, and it authorizes a withdrawal of $325,000 from the capital reserve fund, which is essentially everything that's there right now.
So wait, so we have a public hearing on this next week?
Yes.
Does it make sense for us to be voting to recommend or not recommend before a public hearing?
It's either do that or send it to the budget committee without a recommendation, because they are gonna discuss it on Thursday.
Okay,
I
if,
think we
if
should-
by some chance, anyone's mind on the board is changed by the public hearing, we can always do a motion to reconsider.
Okay,
So it's
Okay.
only, it's
Okay.
only in pencil
got it.
until the public hearing is over.
I'm fine with that, okay.
Okay,
This is a ballot vote on Saturday,
2/3 too,
and 2/3 because it's borrowing.
yep.
Okay.
And it, yeah, that's always fun.
The tax impact is estimated on that annual impact of a bond payment. Take the $85,000 bond payment,
Yeah.
and that's where that number comes from.
So do you want us to vote on this tonight?
Is that what you're hoping?
Yeah, I mean, if you're ready to make recommendations on all these, knowing
Sure.
that we're gonna go through this recommendation exercise, you can actually change your mind about any of this right up to the point where you formally post the warrant. So this is really, tonight's exercise is an effort to put as much of this to bed as we can.
Yep.
And also to inform the budget committee of where you are before we go to the budget committee on Thursday.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to achieve tonight.
So,
But you can change your mind before you post the
Mary,
warrant.
do you want motions reading the entire article or just referencing the number?
we have people perhaps watching at home, so it might be helpful to, although the warrant, no, the warrant, even the draft isn't online yet, is it?
No.
Okay, so I think we're gonna.
Okay, all right. So do you want me to do that? Is everybody ready for that, or?
Sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 6 as read, to see if the municipality will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $750,000 for the purchase and equipping of a new Quint fire truck, and to authorize the issuance of not more than $420,000 of bonds or notes in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA 33, and to authorize the municipal officials to issue and negotiate such bonds or notes, and to determine the rate of interest thereon. Furthermore, to authorize the withdrawal of $325,000 from the Fire and Rescue Vehicle Capital Reserve Fund created for that purpose. 2/3 ballot vote required. The estimated tax impact is 0.143 per 1,000 of property valuation.
0.143 cents
Right.
per 1,000 property valuation, yeah. That's the motion.
I'll second it. Can we talk about it a little bit?
Oh, we sure can, go ahead.
So the way that it's been presented, as no additional tax impact. But the way that this reads here, it says there is a tax impact, so,
That's always been my gripe, in that if you see the next warrant article where they talk about the budget, the tax impact looks like an additional tax to what we already have, but that figure in fact is in the budget already. Same with that amount, it's already in the budget, and when we're,
but it's not.
How's that in the budget?
well, don't we all, did we just get done paying a loan, is what I'm saying, on another piece of
No,
equipment?
in this case, it is the standalone tax impact starting from zero
Okay,
of the bond payment.
So what's the discrepancy between what the chief has been saying and?
None. It's, one is a comparison of year-to-year, tax burden, $100,000 to $100,000.
that's what I'm saying,
I see.
it's already in the tax rate, so that it isn't going to make a difference in the tax rate, but you have to show it
So
like
if
that.
if this were to say the incremental tax impact is, it would be zero. But,
Well, you can't do it that.
but we're not allowed to do that.
Right, this is by law, the wording.
And that would imply an apples to apples that really isn't there in this, for this particular item. Because we're not carrying a bond payment in 2015,
Right.
so an incremental measure doesn't work.
Can you say the estimated tax impact is, that number, comma, which is consistent with or
That's-
equal to, you can't do
I-
that?
That's the law.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we just have to explain that.
Right, exactly.
Fine,
We
that's
get to
fine.
talk about this at the meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the estimated tax impact, with a bond, it's a little different, and with an item that includes revenue, it's a little different.
Yeah,
The way I have done this is, what is the impact on the tax bill, period, not
Yep.
what's the difference,
way to
not
do
how
it.
has
Right,
it changed.
right,
yeah.
I think this is the clearest way to show the impact to the taxpayer.
See, if you were to read
But-
this and have a stroke because you think that all of this is in addition to the $20.34 tax rate that we have right now, and you're like, oh my God, it's so much of
One
it.
thing, you're gonna, at town meeting, are you planning on doing kind of like the intro slides, like you've done?
Sure, yeah,
One
well,
thing you could do is show tax impact by categories year to year,
Yeah,
right? And it would show that the tax impact of those categories is the same.
oh, by department, or by function,
some
or
of these warrant
by,
articles.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these warrant articles is the same, so that you can show that the tax impact of these warrant articles is stable year over year.
stacked bar,
Yeah.
exactly,
Kind of thing. Yep,
exactly,
okay.
yep. Yep.
okay, we
Does
have,
that, yeah,
we have a motion and a second to recommend Article 6. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so then we have Article 7. Somebody like to raise Article 7?
Make a motion How to make a motion?
recommend?
To recommend Article 7, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,638,862.00 for the 2016 operating budget. This article does not include appropriations voted in other special or individual warrant articles addressed in this warrant. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is $3.613 per thousand of property valuation.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
The tax impact here reflects the budgeted appropriation, the 3.6 million number, less the budgeted revenue, which is what we've done historically, of 1.8 something, I don't remember the number. The hard cap is still, on spending is still 3.6 million, but it is offset by the budgeted revenue, which is how we've done it in the past.
Okay.
We had a second on that?
Second, yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll read one for you guys. I make a motion that we recommend Article 8, to see if the town will vote and raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 for the purpose of developing recreational facilities, including but not limited to ball fields and trails at the Marston Farm, said funds to be withdrawn from the existing recreation revolving fund, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to apply for and accept gifts, grants, and donations for that purpose, which shall be accounted for separately as required by law. This will be a non-lapsing appropriation, RSA 32:7, Roman numeral 6, and will not lapse until the project is completed or by December 31st, 2020, whichever is sooner. Majority vote required. There is no tax impact for this appropriation.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just on the order, I wonder if we should swap the order of 8 and 9, just to show that we're, wait a minute,
The first one is coming out of the.
sorry, never mind.
Rewind the tape.
Rewind.
Yeah, just a matter of quick explanation. As we've talked about this to date, we've been talking about an expendable trust fund.
Yep.
And in going back and forth with council, we couldn't find a clean way to make that transfer
Okay.
from the rec revolving fund. It was just too sticky and to get it through DRA would have been a little dicey. This seemed like a way to get to the same end without
Yep.
any
So in a
risk
sense,
there.
it'll sit in the general fund, and if it doesn't get spent by 2020, it will stay in the general fund.
It will, yes, it is an authorization that lasts beyond the end of the fiscal year.
So I know you ran this by legal, but I'm curious about the language to raise and appropriate. Since
Yep.
it's already been raised and
Yep.
appropriated.
It's a bookkeeping thing. You have to
It's
raise
a-
and appropriate every single thing you do.
Okay,
Yep, I wrote it as appropriate, and he came back and said raise
Yep.
and. That
Okay.
was one of his edits.
All right.
Same
all
question.
right, fine.
It's sort of the legal term.
I think you just explained at
Yeah.
town meeting that, hey, this is,
It's already
you got
there.
$165,000 sitting there, we're gonna take $100,000 out.
Yep, that's fine.
We're gonna allocate $100,000 towards Marston.
Fine.
Yep. Yeah, and this actually, I think, is an easier public explanation than the other machinations we were trying.
Oh, yeah.
Which was our other
We're trying to do it
objective.
right,
Yeah.
Yes,
but,
yes, legal,
yeah.
clean, et cetera.
Okay,
All in favor?
aye.
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 I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 for the purpose of developing recreational facilities, including but not limited to ball fields and trails at the Marston Farm. Said funds to be raised through taxation. This will be a non-lapsing appropriation per RSA 32:7(6) and will not lapse until the project is completed or by December 31st, 2020, whichever is sooner. The estimated tax impact is 16 cents per thousand property valuation.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any, I can't even think.
Opposed?
All opposed, thank you.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I don't use that one that often. Do you wanna do the next one? And are we changing that one here?
Yes, we, I think we have a consensus that we want this to read 100,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Want me to read it?
sure.
I make a motion, what is it?
Make a motion to recommend.
Just re-
Don't worry, it's late.
Make a
your
motion to
bedtime.
recommend Article number 10, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to be added to the fire department vehicle capital reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing fire/rescue vehicles. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is
Oh, it's gonna be 16.
16 or 7,
0.16.
0.16 per thousand of property valuation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll do the next one. I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 11 to see if the town will vote and to raise and appropriate the sum of $200,000 for engineering, design, and highway construction and reconstruction on Jabig Road, Ledge Farm Road, Deerfield Road, or other roads in Nottingham if a priority arises. This is a non-lapsing appropriation for RSA 32-7, Roman numeral 6, and will not lapse until the work is complete or no later than 1 year after the end of fiscal year 2016, whichever occurs earlier. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .336 cents per $100,000 of property valuation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any conversation?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 12 to see if the town will vote to establish a contingency fund for the current year for unanticipated expenses pursuant to RSA 31:98-A and related to employee retirements and terminations that may arise, and further to raise and appropriate $20,000 to go into the fund. This sum to come from fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. Any appropriation left in the fund at the end of each year will lapse to the general fund. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is $0 per 1,000 of property valuation.
Second?
I'll second it. How does this have a $0 impact?
It's coming out of the general fund balance.
Oh, the general fund
Fund
balance.
balance, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody good?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to recommend Article 13 to see if the town will vote to establish an expendable trust fund under the provisions of RSA 3119-a to be known as the Invasive Species Prevention and Eradication Removal Fund for the purpose of protecting Nottingham lakes and ponds. Furthermore, to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in this fund, with this amount to come from taxation. Further, to name the selectmen as agents to expend from the fund. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .016 cents per $1,000 of property valuation.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Should you vote on this one?
Yeah. I mean, everybody, we're all sort of near a lake or on a lake, or, I don't see it as a conflict.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just point out that this is a change in procedure, but because in the past, what the town has done is voted to raise and appropriate $4,000 to go to New Hampshire lakes, for the purposes of boat inspections.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to this, I'm just pointing out that it's a change in procedure and it will make the Board of Selectmen, give the Board of Selectmen the authority to decide how much money goes. And again, with the recommendation that it still go to, well, actually, it has always gone to New Hampshire Lakes because New Hampshire Lakes has been a 501c. And I believe the PLIA has been going through that process to become a 501c.
Okay.
So it's just, I'm not pointing this out because I'm opposed to it, I'm just pointing it out that that is a change in the way that it will be handled.
Well, I think in the past, we've given $4,000.
Yeah,
Now, that $4,000 is going to be coming out of this $10,000.
correct. Well, it's gonna
And-
be, what we agreed, what we said to the PLIA was that we were in support of funding $8,000.
I was gonna say that.
With $2,000 going to the fund. This gives the Board of Selectmen a little more flexibility to say, you know what, this year, we want 6,000 to go to the reserve fund and only 4. That will be left, the way that it's worded, it's left to the discretion of the Board of Selectmen. And again, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, I'm just flagging that that's the difference.
I want to clear up that there was also the possibility of having people watching the boats at Horseneck.
That, at Horse Island, and that was.
Horse Island, I'm sorry.
That was our intention when we talked about that.
Is that still part of it? I'm just asking.
Oh, yeah, that would be part of it. All I'm saying is that.
Okay,
The way that this is worded is that it gives future Board of Selectmen
okay,
more flexibility,
okay,
right?
yep,
So that's just flagging
okay.
that.
It sounds like a good idea, but anyway, so did we have a second?
She
I
seconded.
seconded it.
Okay. Any further conversation or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstains?
Abstain.
Okay, so it's 2 and 1 abstention. Okay,
I'll make a motion to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 to be added to the Highway Truck Capital Reserve Fund previously established for the purpose of purchasing trucks for the Highway Department. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is 0.126 cents per $1,000 of property valuation.
second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Is that, is the 75 enough?
No.
Did we, when we went through the CIP exercise, I don't know if we ever really finished that part of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, the, moving to 75
from 50.
and dropping one truck from the plan.
Okay.
You did those two things in the CIP context. That really cleaned things up
Okay.
in the out years.
Okay. Good? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll do Article 15. I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 15 to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the previously established capital reserve fund for the purpose of performing a statutory revaluation of property every 5 years. The next revaluation will take place in 2020. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .042 cents per $1,000 of property valuation.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll do the next one. I recommend Article number 16 to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $22,100 for the purpose of purchasing the necessary fuel, supplies, equipment, and maintenance to run the ambulance and billing services for 2016, to authorize the withdrawal of $22,100 from the ambulance and equipment replacement special reserve fund created for this purpose. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is 0 per $1,000 of property valuation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 17, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the non-capital reserve fund previously established for the purpose of funding the tricentennial fund for the celebration of the town of Nottingham's 300th birthday to take place in the year 2022. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .008 cents per $1,000 of property valuation.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion that the Board of Selectmen recommend Article 18 to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the expendable trust fund previously established for the purpose of maintenance, repair, and replacement of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, or other major systems in town buildings or facilities, and appoint the selectmen as agents to expend from the fund. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .008 per $1,000 of property valuation.
A second.
Discussion?
Yeah, how much do we have in that fund right now?
9?
If we did this, we'd have 14,
Mm.
and if the boiler goes, what kind of expense are we looking at?
20?
Okay, and, have they looked?
Yes.
They did maintenance on the boiler this year,
Yeah, we do preventative.
and what did they usually give us a read?
It's actually running pretty well.
Yeah.
We've had some trouble with the air handlers that come after the boiler, but the boiler itself, was actually,
How old is it?
20-something, I don't know.
I had to change my
Ancient.
boiler this year, when I let it run out. I had 2 tanks, I let 1 tank run out, and my boiler cooled down, and the cast iron, will create cracks, and the cracks will leak if it, right? And that can create kind of an explosive situation,
And unhealthy.
right? Well, it creates, if you're burning and you got water going into it, it creates steam, and the steam expands. I mean, it can be pretty dangerous. Not to say that this is that way, my boiler was 15 years old, you know, and it's a residential boiler, it's not a commercial one, so it could be a completely different thing,
How much was it?
you know, it was 5.
Are you comfortable with this number?
Yeah, I think, you know, if and 20 just to, you know, pulling a number out of the hat.
Well, if you got
but,
14
Covers
total,
2/3.
you got 2/3, and if you gotta come up with $6,000, you come up with $6,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long-winded way of saying okay.
Okay, all in
As
favor?
long as we keep at this,
Yes.
you know, that's,
Yes.
All in
Exactly.
favor?
Aye.
I just don't want the town to be in a,
Was that an aye?
that was a yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just don't want the town to be in a situation where it could be a safety kind of thing, that's all.
no, I think, we have a maintenance contract,
Yeah,
and they're here to do, you know, seasonal,
yeah,
you know, set up and take down, whatever you know, there's a spring and
yeah,
a fall visit.
yeah, okay.
So safety-wise, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that Board of Selectmen recommend Article 19 to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $26,575 in support of the following social services agency. AIDS Response Seacoast in the amount of $575. American Red Cross Great Bay Chapter in the amount of $500. Area Home Care and Family Services, Inc. in the amount of $1,100. CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates in the amount of $500. Child Advocacy Center in the amount of $1,750. Child and Family Services in the amount of $1,000. Cornerstone VNA in the amount of $2,400. Friends Program RSVP in the amount of $100. Haven, a safe place, and merge with SASS in the amount of $1,450. Lamprey Healthcare in the amount of $4,500. Ready Rides in the amount of $1,500. Ritchie McFarland Children's Center in the amount of $2,700. Rockingham County Community Action Program in the amount of $5,500. Rockingham Nutrition and Meals on Wheels in the amount of $1,400. Seacoast Family Promise in the amount of $100. Seacoast Mental Health in the amount of $1,000. Victims Inc. in the amount of $500, for a grand total of $26,575. Majority vote required. The estimated tax impact is .0045 per $1,000 of property valuation.
Well, second,
Okay, discussion?
Ready Rides.
Yeah, I know. We could, ask Chris to get a, I guess, breakdown of what they're spending the money on. Because we had, in the beginning, when they first started, and I'm not against Ready Rides,
Yep.
I'm not either,
but in the beginning, they said it was going to eventually self-fund. And so if you can ask them.
3 years into it.
I know.
Which I've heard, I think we've heard from the recreation director that that has not transpired to the extent that they had hoped it would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I still think it's money well spent, but I don't think it hurts to ask what's happening, if you would feel better about it.
Yeah, I'm torn, you know, because I also think that it has been valuable.
Oh, it's absolutely essential.
But there's a little credibility thing for me in here, because when they first came, I was the one that proposed to the board, let's do it for a year. And with the agreement with them that they would seek outside funding, and we've never had, other than Janet, kind of saying, well, it hasn't worked out, we've never really had a conversation with them to say, well, what have you done? What have you really done to try to go get that, you know?
So, what we can do is, we can vote on it tonight, motion to reconsider, and,
Pending.
and wait, and wait for the input.
I don't wanna,
Well, let me just,
screw up the rest of
let
them.
me just throw something out though. If you're asking for accountability from that program, should we not be asking for accountability from all of the other programs? And I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
valid, it's very valid
Every
question.
year or so, what we would do is we would ask for a breakdown of the amount of money spent from each one of these agencies, how much money was actually spent in Nottingham. Every couple of years, we would do that, and I don't think that this is,
We have gotten reports from them in the
yeah,
past.
we have to ask
We
for
have
it.
to ask them,
They
but-
never,
But the thing on Ready Rides is a little bit different.
it is.
It's different, you know, we can ask them, okay, what have you done with the money? But
Mm-hmm.
the different ask for Ready Rides is, hey, you said you're gonna self-fund.
So
What's
they,
happened?
Ready Rides didn't say it.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Ready Rides said,
They
Yeah.
were the only ones that ever said
Well,
that.
Was that-
we asked them.
through the recreation director, or was that through someone else?
That was, they were in here talking to us.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
it wasn't the rec
Okay,
director.
all right.
When this was proposed, we met with the people who were initiating this thing, and it was very, I mean, it was wonderful what they were gonna try and do.
And I think they've done, I
And
think it's kinda caught on. I think there's some, especially some, elderly or
It's
disabled
being
people
used.
that are using it.
And we're gonna be
that's
using
a
it
good
more.
thing. That's a good thing.
So-
But it's just it's a,
What would you like Chris to do? Would you like Chris to get some information from just Ready Ride this year, and perhaps before next budget cycle, actually get some information from, I don't wanna put Chris having to contact all these
yeah,
agencies.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, I get it. I didn't understand that Ready Ride themselves came in and said that they
Yeah.
were gonna be self-funding, so
Yeah.
I think we could certainly ask for an accountability on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And, but
I don't mind.
I'm
I
not
don't
going
mind-
to
I
not
don't mind
fund
vo-
this.
Yeah, I don't mind voting on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And in parallel, asking for that information. It's just, again, for me, it's a credibility thing.
I think it was naivete on their part, because I was very, and they were very hopeful too, that this was gonna be self-funded, but I had a
It's-
feeling it
it's
wasn't
a-
gonna.
It's, when I say just so I'm being very clear,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not calling their credibility into question. I'm calling mine into question. Because I was a proponent of saying, hey, let's do this, knowing that they're gonna do that. And I've been challenged on it, you know, since,
Yeah,
so,
I know they had high hopes, but I was more interested in the service,
yeah, I know,
you know.
I know.
Okay, so, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and Chris, do try and get that information for us. And if you can get it ahead of the 8th meeting, that would be great.
so
And
I would
just-
suspect that a letter of explanation of efforts
Yeah.
would be fine.
Donna, in that meeting, me and Tom Duffy committed to helping them,
That's fine. That's, I mean, that's great.
So-
That's great.
just so you have the context.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is it for that. Are you good with it? So I think we don't have too many questions on anything, that was about the only one, right? Did we have anything else that you gotta go back over?
No, I think we're clean, and actually, I was worried about signatures, but you know, we don't need signatures at this point, do we?
No, as long as we can go for the budget committee on Thursday,
With the
if they
recommendations.
voted on them, and
Yeah,
we include your recommendations on Thursday, then we should.
So that was our entire, final budget. Anything else, Chris?
that's plenty.
There was a discussion via email about the meeting that we had to cancel on January, the rescheduling of the meeting that was canceled on the 25th of January.
Yes, and I wanna just thank you both again for rescheduling based on my schedule.
No problem at all, but I do want to take that stream of emails back and forth, I want to put it into the minutes for tonight.
That's appropriate.
That's the stream right there.
You-
And-
You comfortable with them being attached to our archive copy of the minutes?
That's fine.
They don't need to be
We're
cooked
good.
in,
That's
but-
fine.
okay.
Yeah. Anything else,
Yeah,
Kitty?
it's a busy week.
Yeah, I know.
Tomorrow night I've got Marston at 5:30 and I've got, we've got ballot box
At
testing
7
at
PM, yeah.
Are you planning it being on the deliberative session on Wednesday night?
I don't think I can make it.
Okay.
Why is that?
'Cause I'm not sure I'm gonna make it, and since I'm representing Mark's place on the budget committee, I will do my best, but I'm gonna be in Massachusetts and not certain that I'll be home
What time does it start?
at 7 PM.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Let's say I can't make it because I'm pretty sure I can't.
So we may end up without Board of Selectmen representation on the budget committee on that evening.
I
It
don't
won't- it
see
won't
that as a
matter.
problem.
It won't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just felt it was important to inform you guys of that.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Unless you guys
it's-
want me to go, go.
As I mentioned, we will not have Board of Selectmen representation.
I could go sit there on my thumbs and
No, you can't.
Yeah,
act like a bobbing.
I mean, the chairman of the budget committee does mostly the whole thing anyway.
Right,
So, I mean, you're just sort of there
right.
holding a place
Send that signature file down to me. Do you have it?
that's
You
hogging
have
in
anything
on
else,
us.
Donna?
Yeah, anything else, guys?
What did you guys ever do with a petition that Jim Robinson gave you?
I didn't do anything with it.
I don't know what it is.
I closed the loop with Jim. Told him that it wasn't in the budget and,
What is in the budget is the beginning of the road, isn't it?
Oh, that one, right.
So did he get a letter?
we talked about a letter and I had a conversation with him and, said, do you want a letter? And he said, no. So,
Okay.
I could certainly write a letter on your behalf, or I can write it myself.
No,
Having just had a conversation with him, he said he doesn't need it, I'm happy to do it. And I told him I was happy to do it, but he didn't say he didn't need it, so.
That was the,
Oh, yeah, I got it.
okay.
There is
down
one
the
more thing, though, to the point about Mr. Sterndale's review
Yes,
and getting that in motion.
okay, great, a good idea, I'm glad you didn't drop that.
But, so when do we want to do that?
I think we'll do it on the 22nd while you're not here. No, we can do that in a morning, I mean, we don't have to do it,
I mean, you guys are more than welcome to start it on the 22nd without me.
no. I think would it be better in an
Well, the
off?
way that we did it last year, as the chair, I took a first shot at writing stuff up, and I sent it out to you guys
Yeah.
for review.
Then we did a workshop.
You wanna do
And we
that?
did a workshop,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, he is our town administrator, and we
Yeah.
should do that.
Can you give me the format for a review, and I'll start that, and, get it out to you guys, and as soon as you get it,
I'll review it as soon as you get it to me.
so, how are your schedules looking for next, do you wanna put it off until after all the elections? We still-
Really don't.
Okay,
I really would like to get it done in February.
well, that's what I'm saying, no, silly boy. The schedule after the 9th thins out
Oh, you mean
a
after the
lot.
9th election?
Yeah.
Yes.
that's what Yeah, like I could do the morning of the 10th.
Depends on how
No, you're gonna have a late
No,
night.
that's true.
there.
Yeah.
17th, I can do the morning of the 17th.
looking good,
Did I?
sounds good to me. 9, is that good?
I'd rather get started at like 8:30, but
Okay. I was trying to be civilized.
When are you looking at?
the 17th?
They went
I
right
got
over their
something going
heads.
on the 7th. What do I got going on the 17th?
What civilized person?
I could also do the 15th.
That's President's Day.
Is it really?
Oh. So from the 19th to the 26th, that week oh, so 17th is before that, okay.
Yeah, I'm away.
Yeah.
I'm away.
Let's do the 17th, because that other week I may have to travel,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be away that other week.
yeah.
So you're not gonna be here on the 22nd either?
I may not be, it's one of these things that's kind of cooking and I don't
Keep
know.
it clean.
I'm not, okay, so you wanna do 8:30 on the
What?
8th?
Hey, I could be the only one here.
You can have a
I could make
meeting,
all my decisions
you
myself.
can have a
There's this little
meeting.
thing called quorum, Mary?
Ah, there's always something that spoils all the fun.
Wednesday, February 17th at 8:30 a.m.?
Yes.
And if it turns out that we are not going to have any kind of a quorum on the 22nd, if there's anything, Chris, that you need done on that morning, I guess we'll have to kind of turn it into one of
Turn
those.
back, you're away that week?
21st through the 26th.
She's definitely away, I won't know for, probably, I'll know within a week.
Hey, well,
whether I'm
she's
gonna need to
away.
go.
The cat,
Whoa.
the cats can play, the mice can play, how does that go?
The mice can play,
Wow,
or rats.
make
How
any
you look at
decisions.
it. So if we have to cancel the 22nd meeting, you guys will let Chris know, and then
Yeah.
we will all be together on the 17th in the morning, and if there's
Yes.
anything pressing,
We can address it
we
then.
can address it then. But we will try not to have a full slate, but if there's
No,
something.
You're gonna, this time of year, there's have to be something,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, something little about this
some-
big, okay?
And you have to post the warrant by what date?
I thought it was the 17th, but. of February.
That got, we should be done with it by the 17th. On the 17th, we're just gonna be doing primarily a,
I think that's
review.
the official posting date.
Do you want this?
All right, well, we'll have you ready to put everything to bed on the 17th. no
and
matter
you'll
what.
send me the format for a review, Chris, at
Yeah.
your earliest
And
convenience.
last year's review?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wait, you want me to just pick a new format that
No,
3 lines, yes, no?
I wait?
yes?
Do you all wanna talk about what you wrote for the town report?
Oh, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Did anybody have comments on that? Don't hurt my feelings.
I liked it,
Well, thank you.
except
The end, I didn't know how to
the
say it at
end,
the
I
end.
would prefer you say that,
I was hoping you'd give me some help there.
it's
Do you
due,
have a copy of it?
Yeah, right here.
So the warrant and budget must be posted by February 22nd.
Before you do that.
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking on the 22nd, that's right.
So, tell me what you,
increasing professional commitments.
won't be leaving,
All right, well, they'll be done.
Increasing,
due to,
increased professional
Let's
commitments.
plan
Thank you.
on posting it on the 17th, because
That's really the
people are gonna
truth,
start to
increasing
evaporate.
professional commitment.
commitments,
Okay.
yeah. It has nothing to do with, I don't have a career anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know how to say it.
I'm not pursuing that.
I'm
That's
glad.
just something that somebody tells you that
He hopes to
you
get
can
promoted
have.
to junior manager.
Yes.
Someday you'll own the company.
17th.
I've been invited back down to DC.
We won't actually be together again, except for Monday night,
What'd you just say?
I've been invited back down to, I'll tell you later.
so.
So is the 22nd
Washington.
canceled? Is that right?
Not
It's
yet.
heading that way, but not yet.
Well, don't, it's like
What you
it's like a
I read it,
25%
I
chance that
just
I'm gonna
needed to
not be
refresh it
here.
on-
Okay.
Okay,
Comment that I
I
had.
would not take any action at all.
okay.
So, I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
Okay, the only comment I have, and I'm,
Sticking in my concern about the older people?
no, and what I didn't want was somebody to say it that way.
Okay.
My only concern was the line, as a result, the board will be making suggestions to the town in the upcoming years to better address the issue and to help our older neighbors and friends remain in their homes and part of our community.
How would you say that?
Well, let me say my only concern.
You're committing her.
Exactly. Well, and that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing that.
You best do it, girl.
I understand that, but the fact that you two aren't here and you're saying, it's very specific, the board will be making suggestions to the town.
How would you say that?
Well, I don't think you can make that commitment on behalf of a future board.
We
I
hope,
guess I was.
You could say, we hope the board will.
Yes, okay,
You know?
exactly, that's
We
fine.
recommend to the board, we recommend that a future board.
Exactly, and
yeah.
I expect that we will,
Yeah.
but when you say the board will be, then you
So how
have
would you-
people saying, what are the specific
She's
recommendations?
just teeing up a reason to come back and harass you,
I
that's all.
understand.
You haven't done this yet,
We
Donna.
got a point, the
Mary.
board is cognizant of the aging of Nottingham's population. This is in keeping with much of the northeast demographic.
As a result, the present board
The present, I like that.
hopes that future boards
Um,
will make suggestions.
okay, as a result, the present board hopes
Yeah,
that future boards,
will make suggestions.
I like it,
That's, I'm 100% fine with that. It was just,
will make suggestions. You get that?
No,
I'll fix it and send it to you,
but
okay?
great.
Okay. And then, just make sure I did it right, okay? When I send it to Dawn, I will send it to you guys in case I didn't get it.
I also committed to write something on Marston property
Yes, you
for the
did.
newsletter, and when that is final, I'll send it to you guys so you can see that as well.
And text town report too.
I do have a
Did you guys see
recommendation.
my CIP report?
No.
No,
I sent that to you.
I did not.
Can you make sure they see it?
I wanna tell you, Mary, what you wrote for the town report, it was very well written,
Well, thank you very much.
so nice job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And,
I do wanna make a recommendation, that will go beyond you and me. The petition that Jim brought forward,
yes,
I think that the board needed to spend a little bit more time understanding the issue. You know, I understand the piece that I recuse myself from, because that's a big chunk. But you do have roads in town that are dirt, that come off onto main roads.
and they need aprons,
Right?
yeah.
And I have to tell you that 500-foot section is a safety issue, because I drive on it all the time. And
I kind of thought that we had an amount that John came up with,
$19,000.
and I thought that sort of got into the budget. I thought that was.
No, you guys never did anything. You guys never really did anything with it, honestly. You had too many more important things to do.
Yeah, it
and
just kind of got
You
lost.
really didn't. It was kind of disappointing.
Too late for that?
Well, it's, no, technically, no, it's not too late. I think it's more likely, it
I
would
don't
be,
have a
it would
prob-
be
I do
easier
not
if
have a
we
problem with
tried
the
to do it
apron.
within our existing work plan.
Yeah.
Given that, maybe asphalt's cheaper this year than we're budgeting.
Yeah.
There may be,
May
that may
find
be a
some,
nice,
Can you do that?
on the fly,
My-
late in the
Fill it.
season
Yeah,
kind of
my
game.
recommendation, and Donna, this is really something that you should be considering, is that
Make a note, Donna, we're
is
gonna
that
have a lot.
you not just look at Guile Road, but I know that there are some other dirt roads that come off on Stage Road, and there may be some dirt roads that come off like onto McCrillis, or some of the other main ones, but anything that comes off onto those main roads, it is dangerous.
It's good to have an
I
apron.
think it needs to be a thoughtful discussion with the road agent.
Right,
Yeah.
right, make a note.
So,
And you're
But
right,
in the
it's not a
meantime-
one-road issue, but
But
is
in the
it, is it
meantime,
a,
if that
is
apron
it
can
a-
be put on,
a way we wanna approach all
the end
the
of
roads?
Guile.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
it's a bigger issue than just Guile.
and I'll be
But
watching.
you know, just so you know, coming around Guile, when you're going north, you're coming around, and then you're gonna take a right into a dirt road. You're gonna kinda going 40-ish if you're on the speed limit, and then you're gonna hit a dirt road, and when it's wet and slippery, or when it's mud season, my concern has always been, first of all, I'm gonna stop too fast for the people behind me and get rear-ended. Secondly, when I hit that dirt, it's mud, and that area it's really muddy, and I'm just gonna slide,
Well, if it's dry, you can really slide,
yeah.
I think it should be
It's
a
just
discussion of
everywhere.
prioritization with the road agent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
are you sure?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm glad, thank you for bringing that up, Mark, because I kind